I'll just leave them out entirely. Harry Potter doesn't need. It doesn't need intro snippets.
Sure.
Hi, we are Tea and Toffees. I am Neitshayd, still an undead demon.
And hi, I'm Cecilia, not a witch anymore.
We are still on book 2, Chamber of Secrets. We start with Chapter 8, The Death Day Party.
Hagrid's pumpkins swell to the size of garden sheds. Isn't that a bit big, even for magically enhanced pumpkins? Why haven't they exploded yet? I want to see exploding pumpkins, but not clean the mess up. Someone else can do that.
So much pumpkin juice. So much pumpkin juice. Yuck. Ugh, bah. I was actually wondering last chapter, when we first see the pumpkins, what counts as a large boulder? Because boulders come in many sizes.
And where do they actually grow the pumpkin for the pumpkins for all the pumpkin juice they're drinking? Like, shouldn't Hagrid grow pumpkins all year round then, and not just when Halloween comes around?
Well, maybe Professor Sprout grows them in her greenhouses, but I suppose the pumpkin juice comes from wherever the food comes from, bought from somewhere, with money that comes from somewhere. Either way, tied to the Death Day Party, for our resident Gryffindor ghost, Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porkpington, who wants to join the Headless Hunt for glory, I assume, because that's what all Gryffindors want, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, alas, he doesn't meet the requirements. And Nick, they're not wrong.
Nick, you are nearly Headless Nick for a reason. You can't become a huntsman. I'm sorry, but that's the rules.
I could include some research into accounts from the world we're currently in about the hunt, because that's a thing that exists. It's actually a thing. But I won't. I'm not doing research for Harry Potter. So, this conversation that we have here where Nick mentions the Headless Hunt occurs between him and Harry in the hallway after Harry just came in from Quidditch practice, getting mud everywhere. Which, actually, why is Harry on his own? Where's the rest of the team?
Plot convenience.
Absent for plot convenience. Sounds about right. So, understandably, Mr. Filch, the caretaker, isn't too keen on having to clean all that mud up. And yes, hire a squib, incapable of using magic, to be a housekeeper of an entire castle all by himself, cleaning up after hundreds of magical children the Muggle way. That makes totally sense. And it's not even the modern Muggle way. No, we're going the very old-fashioned Muggle way.
I'm still surprised no one ever noticed that Filch is a squib. Shouldn't that be obvious?
Yes. Harry is lucky he has Nick to help him out of trouble.
And the Vanishing Cabinet gets name-dropped. And literally dropped from a great height as well. Guess it's broken and is now in need of repair. Draco, what do you think?
Well, first, let's have the twins shove some Slytherin in there, nearly killing said Slytherin, and face no consequences. Shall we?
Yep.
So, as we know, everything always happens on Halloween. Although we start relatively tame with Nick's Death Day Party. Sounds fun, actually. So many ghosts to ask about their lives and deaths. Probably lots of interesting stories to be found there.
I would only go if you were there as well, and then be exasperated by your antics.
And then visit the kitchens on your way to the Hufflepuff common room.
Hot chocolate.
Yes. But honestly, like Harry There's so many ghosts there. And he just doesn't care.
Nope, he doesn't.
We also get introduced to Moaning Myrtle.
Toilet break while a ghost is wailing into your ear? Really doesn't sound fun. At least no one will hear it when you do your business. Could one consider that a plus side? Would that be worth it? Well, then again, Myrtle could always come floating into the stall you are in and be creepy. So, nope, I will not use that toilet.
Unless you are a necromancer and fond of ghosts. Even if the ghosts are afraid of you. I want to be a necromancer.
Of course you do. And why is there rotten fish, burnt cake, and moldy cheese at the Death Day party if ghosts can't eat anything anyways? You can almost taste it if you walk through it? What does the ghost mean with almost? Stronger taste because of the mold? Maybe, but it would taste awful. Are they so desperate to taste something?
Does mold really make the flavor stronger though? Sounds fishy. Pun intended. Sounds fishy. I don't think it does.
Who knows? I'm not a ghost, and I eat 3 meals a day plus snacks, so I can't talk. I'm just wondering and questioning and in want of other opinions. So if someone in our audience has an opinion on this, feel free to leave a comment down below.
Well, 3 meals you say. I say 1.5 meals is more than enough per day.
Your eating habits are terrible, Neitshayd.
One has to make do. Eating food is hard sometimes. All the time. Good thing I'm undead, isn't it?
I guess so. On to other ghosts, because ghost horses. How? Why? Explain, and I want.
I want a ghost horse, and a skeleton horse, and a ghost cat. Many ghost cats.
I want real-life cats that you can cuddle, but maybe in summer for the hot days?
It's all or nothing, Cecilia. Ghost cats, ghost cats.
Living cats, living cats. Isn't it a bit rude of the huntsman to start playing head hockey while Nick is giving his speech?
Yes. Yes, it is. So
Ghosts.
our heroes decide to leave the Death Day party in hopes of at least getting pudding from the feast upstairs. So the trio departs, but oh no! Harry hears a mysterious voice. Wonder what that could be.
Is Ginny not at the feast?
I suppose not.
And technically, if Harry hears the snake, shouldn't the others hear its hissing? Or are they dismissing it as background noise? Because Harry hears a voice, so then they try to hear a voice.
It is an old castle. There are most likely many odd noises all around. I'm just surprised Hermione didn't figure it out right off the Parseltongue reveal. So, following Harry, following his schizophrenia, the trio finds a crime scene. Words written in blood on the wall, water everywhere, a cat petrified. But, well, it's a cat. So, actually, not a good crime scene. Worst crime to commit. Cat.
Yes, cat. How could anyone do this to that poor cat? Cats always deserve better. Even if they can be annoying at times, it's still a cat. It deserves better. And how did Ginny get up there to write the words in the first place?
Magic.
The answer to everything. The answer to everything. And why are there students from both ends? It doesn't make any sense. How would they go past each other? They each take up the entire corridor. If they were to go into the same direction, then they should walk behind each other. No need to squish past someone. And since Hufflepuff and Slytherin go down and not up, there are only two houses that could run into each other, and they really should know better than that. Or maybe the stairs just changed direction, and that's why the castle wanted them to come up on the scene of the crime, I guess.
Well, Hufflepuff and Slytherin being there makes no sense whatsoever. Students coming from both directions makes no sense whatsoever. Nothing makes sense. I think there are also some contradictions about Myrtle's bathroom being on the first or second floor, or were they and they were corrected? I'm not sure anymore. And now that makes me wonder how the American versions handle that, because they have very odd floor naming conventions.
Yeah, they have.
Ah, well, that was Chapter 8. Chapter 9, the writing on the wall. So, for now, let's hold off on basilisk petrification discussion, because we'll get into that when Harry and Ron figure it out.
Why is Filch accusing Harry?
Good question. From his point of view, well, Harry and co were first on the scene, I suppose. They are standing directly next to his cat, and also, that's his cat. How dare you? That's his cat. Or something along those lines. Either way, Dumbledore leads us to Lockhart's office, determines that Mrs. Norrie has merely been petrified, and then Snape, of all people, steps into... well, not actually help Harry. He does not help Harry. It seems like that at first, but no. Like, oof, Snape, way to show your bias. Taking him off the Quidditch team for potentially getting up to some mischief you don't know he has even committed? I don't think so. Dumbledore would never. Makes one wonder, does he feel like he has to make up for not being the true villain last book?
Maybe.
Still, highly unseemly behavior for a teacher, but we know Hogwarts doesn't care to employ qualified teachers. There's a little line here where Dumbledore makes Harry feel as if he was being X-rayed. First of all, Harry, you know what being X-rayed means? Second, legitimacy, which should be illegal. You can't just use that on your students, Dumbledore. But still, yeah, Harry, listen to your friends. Hearing voices is not a good sign, which is why you should tell an adult.
But Harry never talks to adults, let alone trusts them.
True. Life moves on as normal, except for the writing on the wall.
Why can't Filch remove the writing with the all-purpose magical mess remover? Isn't it just blood or paint? I doubt the first year could have done this. Can Tom just cast spells for Ginny? Oh, with some strong magic, would you be able to stick it to the wall so that it can't be easily removed? But how?
Tom is a certified genius, so he surely knows a way. The answer is magic.
As always, magic.
And we know Filch can't use magic, so he doesn't have the answer to everything. So we get a glimpse of the trio doing homework for once. Wow. Schoolwork exists.
Oh no, I was starting to doubt that. We had a school? Really?
Yes, really. I'm not sure whether this was mentioned before, but do normal schools specify their homework in, well, I suppose it would be pages rather than feet or inches on a scroll. So it seems a bit unfair in regards to like differently sized and spaced handwriting styles. Because, I mean, Ron even points out that Hermione's handwriting is tiny, so she wrote quite a lot. And even if you give your students lined or squared paper, two people with rather different handwriting styles can still write very different amounts of words within the same page.
Maybe it's a loophole? So students who don't want to write as much can just use larger letters and people like Hermione can write in smaller ones? But really, they should assign a word count.
Yes.
Hmm.
So Hermione's off to find a copy of Hogwarts History. To which I say, what do you mean Hermione can't remember something she read in a school book? No way! She always remembers everything she reads in school books.
Mm-hmm. No way.
Well, at least Professor Binns may finally get his time to shine and explain some interesting piece of Hogwarts history for once.
How did the other founders not notice that a secret chamber was built?
Magic.
Again. I can even get behind why Salazar Slytherin found Muggleborns untrustworthy at the time. The magical community was persecuted and hunted. So any Muggleborn you invite to the school could just expose it and then they would all be in danger. But the part with unworthy to study magic? I don't get that part.
We could put a deep meaning into this. Or simply accept that she who must not be named didn't think too hard about it beyond let's have an evil racist house.
That's probably what happened. And so Harry is once again glad that he didn't land in Slytherin, which rude to the head and Slytherin. The head was right, you know. You could have been great in Slytherin. Instead of recklessness, you would have learned self-preservation, which would have helped him immensely.
Agreed.
All right, time to take a closer look at the scene of the crime.
But why would the spiders flee through the window next to the crime scene / bathroom where the entrance to the chamber is? Why would they not flee into the wider castle and escape from there? Why are they fleeing right now when the incident happened several days ago?
Exactly! Why are the spiders still fleeing? The basilisk should be gone by now. Or is the basilisk still close by? But that would be awfully convenient. Or maybe once they start to flee, they won't stop until all of them are out of the castle and in the forest, not wanting to take any risks?
Still doesn't make sense.
Nope, because then if all of them would have wanted to flee, they wouldn't go past the crime scene if they had been in a different place in the castle.
No, you can flee through any other window.
Yeah.
Anywhere else, but not there.
Doesn't make sense.
Ah, yes, a haunted bathroom. Definitely a coincidence. Oh, whoops. Boys aren't supposed to be in there.
So, Ron didn't want to open that door because it was a girls' toilet and not because of the out of order sign?
I think he saw the girls' sign first and didn't even register the out of order sign until Hermione pointed it out to him. So it's just common decency. And I suppose boys his age are squeamish about such things.
Yeah, I guess so. But why would that be a problem if it's out of order? What could be in there that you don't want to see? Toilet stalls? Or are you scared that someone might see you coming out again and is going to judge you? I don't quite get it, personally speaking. At least now. A few years back, I would have been the same about entering a toilet that is designated to the opposite gender, but now I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, but you're an adult now.
Yeah.
You are mature. Kind of. No, not really. But you're more mature than you were back then. Yes. Some days. Anyway, who could possibly be the heir of Slytherin? Definitely Slytherin. Definitely Draco Malfoy. Can't be any of the other 600 students. Nah. Realistically, though, who else could they have suspected? Because Harry never pays attention to anyone outside his little circle of friends and enemies. On that matter, Hermione asks, who'd want all the scripts and Muggleborns out of Hogwarts? Which makes me wonder, who else but Filch is a script here?
No one?
Exactly, no one. Ron mutters, "Do you think we've got nothing better to do in potions than listen to Snape?" Which, that's funny. One would think that listening to your teacher is what you're supposed to do in class.
Mm-hmm.
But why did Snape mention a new devil potion and the book it is in to a class of second years?
No clue.
It's a bit out of character because he's like, "You're all dunderheads, you will never learn anything, so why should I teach you anything?" Or
Yeah.
something like that.
He doesn't even want them in his nude classes because, as you said, they are all dunderheads.
Yeah. So why does he mention that?
No clue.
Chapter 10. The Rogue Bludger. I actually like how last chapter ends on, "What teacher would be so thick to fall for such a pure excuse to get that book out of the restricted section?" And then this chapter begins with the trio going to Lockhart, and he does precisely that. I actually like that. Ugh, it was good writing. Yes. Watch me. My soul is leaving my body from saying that.
Yes, I can see that. But even if Lockhart uses the memory charm on all the witches and wizards who actually accomplished those things, was there never a witness? Like the villagers he saves? No loose end that would expose him? I guess he was throughout. Something he wouldn't Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Something
exactly like you write it.
No, English is never like that. You never pronounce it how you write it.
Well, in this case, you do.
I refuse to acknowledge that. So, something you wouldn't expect, but still seems oddly fitting that there are no loose ends.
Well, in his line of work, which is stealing glory, you must be thorough. He does actually strike me as the type to tie up every single loose end. Otherwise, he wouldn't be successful. Hermione is sad to let her autograph go. Oh, I wonder why. Because, what is it about this dude that everyone likes? I don't get it. Anyway. And then Ron says, "We'll get you another autograph. Lockhart will sign anything if it stands still long enough." Which is true, but also not something you should say right in front of the librarian, who is going to give you access to the restricted section, Ron.
Ron isn't known for subtlety.
Indeed, he isn't. So, moving on to I Hate Quidditch. There's a rogue bludger. It's obviously been tampered with, so the referee should obviously do something about this to ensure fair play. Fair play. So why is this not happening? Why would they have to forfeit the match to get the bludger investigated and dealt with?
I just have no words for this. This is stupid.
Yeah, it's just I can only shake my head at it. It's like, why?
So let's talk about another aspect of Quidditch, because shouldn't the players wear protective goggles, like, in general? They're flying at a high speed in all kinds of weather conditions. Would make sense to protect your eyes against wind, insects, rain, and so on. But no, why would they do that?
Yeah, it would make sense, which is why they don't do it. So Harry gets his arm broken due to reasons, and then Lockhart vanishes all bones in said arm. I am surprised that Lockhart keeps trying so hard, when it would be better for him not to do this. Like, why would he cast spells that he knows won't work? Surely he's not that delusional, because,
maybe he is, but more importantly, where is the consent? Harry didn't agree to this, nor did he agree to Colin taking a picture. Hopefully the wizarding world knows the word consent. Either way, they should really work on that. Consent is always important.
And now Harry has to spend a painful night in the hospital wing.
33 bones in one arm. And for some reason, I was curious and looked it up on Google if it's actually 33, because we know you know who can't do math. And I actually stumbled on the number 32 per upper limb. So where did that one bone go since the book was written? Because who knows, maybe it was 33 back then. Yeah, and that would also include arm, forearm, and hand, because it said upper limb. And so is it also gone from his hand? Oh, and if the author only says arm, then is it not including the hand, for example? Then the count would be even higher. We have 60 bones per lower limb, by the way. Thigh, leg, and foot.
What? Wait. But so is it 32 with the hand or without the hand?
I think it's with. I mean, it did say upper. Wait, I have to think about this for a second. It did say 32 per upper limb. So I guess that's arm and that's its hand included. So
well, yes, because if you think about the way our arms are built, I don't think our just without the hand, don't think it has enough.
Then yeah,
bones.
She has one bone. So in her count, it's one bone too much, too many. So if she didn't mean like arm and forearm and hand, it only meant the arm itself.
But generally,
then she would be off even worse.
Yeah, but generally, if you say arm, you mean the entire thing. The hand is included in the arm.
Not convinced.
Yes, that's the arm. The arm starts at your shoulder and ends at your fingertips. Either way, I think Google was not accessible back when this book was written. And since you did research, I also did research. So, in 1989, the book was written. And Google was founded in 1998. The book was written in 1998, and Google was founded in 1998. So doing research was considerably more complicated and time-consuming back then. Google had just been founded.
But if you're an author, you should do your research properly, like go to a library or something. And she must have gotten the numbers somewhere.
Magic.
I doubt that she can do magic. But
yeah. No, I mean, well, I guess then she consulted a book in a library and the book said 33 bones.
She consulted a book. I'm shocked.
One does that. So, guess who shows up? Dobby. You know, for someone who wants Harry to be safe, Dobby sure goes about it in the worst way possible.
Need to keep Harry safe. Let's kill him with a bludger. Perfectly reasonable, right? But we must remain fair. No, Harry, Dobby didn't nearly get you expelled. That's on Ron and you. And halfway through the book, and we get foreshadowing. We get foreshadowing that Lucius will pass Dobby a sock.
Very important.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned this before, I think, but I don't really understand Dobby. Not in Chamber of Secrets, at least. We're not talking about the later books yet. We'll get to those eventually, but Chamber of Secrets Dobby he's annoying. And it's just, look, I don't like Harry either. He's also annoying and obnoxious and self-important and a jock and, well, you get the gist. So it's not that I sympathize with Harry suffering through Dobby's delusional plans to get him far, far away from Hogwarts. It's just, I mean, it also doesn't help, of course, that house elves in general are a highly uncomfortable topic. Why did she invent them?
No clue.
I wonder, also, sometimes Dobby talks like your average person. Except for the parts where he talks about himself in third person. But then he reverts to the weird house elf manners of speech. It's very inconsistent.
Yeah, it's very inconsistent. And you know what I noticed just now? Chamber of Secrets. Chaos of Sabrina.
Yeah, but not really.
Not really.
Not the same. It's not the same. Also, it's Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah, but still.
There's an A in there, so it's CAOS. But yeah, it's close. But the A is important because adventures.
Adventures, not just chaos, even though it's pure chaos.
Chilling. How chilling. The chilling. Oh, the chilling of secrets.
the chilling of secrets.
Yes.
With lots of chilies involved.
Ooh, yes. Chili peppers. Spectre Harry. Another student was petrified. Guess who it was? Creepy Colin. Because Colin was being creepy again, and I'm not saying he deserves being petrified. But I'm also not saying he doesn't.
And why were the grapes next to Colin? He held his camera with both hands. So, where were the grapes? Did he hold them with his mouth? And why walk around looking through your camera? High chance of tripping and breaking the camera. Hogwarts is enough of a safety hazard without added difficulty.
So I am assuming that he was carrying the grapes to bring them to Harry, and then heard something odd and dropped the grapes to grab his camera and take a picture.
That would make sense, but he can't just drop the grapes he wanted to bring to his hero.
More important to take pictures. Colin is obsessed with taking pictures.
But he's also obsessed with Harry, and he wanted to bring him grapes, but now he can't bring him grapes anymore.
Yeah, but like, you're sneaking through the castle, and there's something odd and ominous, and oh, it could be a monster, I need to take a picture, very important. You don't think about the grapes in that situation.
Well, I think about the grapes.
I think about evacuating the school. Like, this is the point where you evacuate the school headmaster, or at least implement serious safety measures. She doesn't.
Because why would he? Hogwarts is a safety hazard.
Yeah, it is. Chapter 11. The Dueling Club. Percy's trying really hard to be a good older brother to Ginny, isn't he? Anyway, moving on. It's time to illegally brew a potion. And we still need special ingredients, so let's distract Snape in class to give Hermione an opportunity to steal them. Ah, children. There is no way no one saw Harry throw that thing in Goyle's cauldron. And also, Harry, if Snape actually knew, he definitely wouldn't have let you go unpunished. Snape's the type of person to give you detention on a mere hunch. So he doesn't know. Yeah. But out of the way, a week later, a dueling club is announced. Guess whose idea it was? Yes, Lockhart's. Can't possibly go wrong, can it?
Charm to disarm sends Lockhart flying off stage and smashing into a wall. So how did that disarm him? Oh, his head fell off. Oh no, poor Lockhart. What about his wand, Harry? Any observations regarding that? No? Okay. Oh, okay. Lockhart tells us that he actually lost his wand because Harry just didn't want to tell us.
What does Expelliarmus do? Seriously, what does it do? Does it disarm you? Does it blast you backwards? What does it do?
I know what it does. It does magic.
Yeah, it's so inconsistent throughout the books. It's driving me mad.
It always does what is convenient for the plot. And how long did it take for two teachers to pair up what is essentially the entire student body? If you pair two people every 10 seconds, then with two people doing that, in an hour you could pair up 1,440 people. So they took half an hour to an hour just to pair everyone up.
Well, for one, I mean, there are only, I think, 600 students at Hogwarts. And I think Harry might be exaggerating when he says the whole school turned up, because I highly doubt that. Some students are not interested in dueling clubs. So let's go with your math. More like 20 minutes. And also, I think they would leave most pairs that already formed as is, since Lockhart won't care and Snape is only invested in Harry and his own house.
Guess so.
You guess so.
I guess so.
You guess so.
Yeah, because math. So I guess the math is correct.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway. Usually the teacher would just say, form pairs. Be done with it.
But I like to imagine that the dueling club is already off to a bad start, with all the students just waiting around being bored while the teachers pair them up.
True. So a snake student, as instructed by his snake teacher, summons a snake to attack the snake speaker.
Poor Snake! She deserves better.
Indeed.
Poor Snake.
And now everyone thinks Harry is the heir. Yes, House of Snakes, founded by Snake Speaker, Snaky Snake. Obviously Harry must be a descendant. It's the only explanation. Well, this is a typical human reaction. Like, wow, I'm not criticizing, can you believe it? He talks snake, he must be evil. It's the only explanation. Like, humans.
Even if you're a descendant of Salazar Slytherin, that doesn't mean you would automatically land in Slytherin house. That blood relatives often land in the same houses because of their environment. They get taught by their parents, taught what the parents value. And in most cases, that results in them adopting those same values. Like, look, Tom, he did not land in that house because of his relation to Salazar Slytherin. Self-preservation was very important to him because of how he grew up. It also led him to become quite cunning in order to improve his life as much as he could. He would become a model Slytherin student because of his experiences in the orphanage. So a descendant of Salazar can also just land themselves in a different house, so mustn't necessarily be a Slytherin student.
Which is an argument for Harry being a descendant.
And they could also simply reject those ideologies, like Sirius did.
Who everyone thinks was a traitor all along, so that's still an argument for Harry.
Yeah, so the golden trio at the beginning was just, or Harry, I guess, was like, yeah, it must be a student from Slytherin. And I'm like, no, Harry, that's not how it works.
But they are kids. Children. Harry's thoughts go, could he be a descendant of Salazar Slytherin? He didn't know anything about his father's family after all. The Dursleys had always forbidden questions about his visiting relatives. Why would the Dursleys know anything about that? And also, why would this keep you from asking questions in the magical world, Harry? One could argue this is some form of trauma. Harry never asks questions and all that, but it's a bit... If that was what you knew his intention was, she didn't write it very well. I suppose Harry is simply an idiot.
I mean, didn't Hagrid give him a photo album already of his parents?
Yes.
Yes, so he's like, yeah, he didn't he cry about that? It's like, oh yes, I get to see my parents actually, and it's like,
yes.
You know, maybe he can't really ask Hermione because why would Hermione know? But Ron, Harry could really just ask Ron about to ask his parents.
He could also. Hagrid made that photo album by asking around. He asked friends of Harry's parents to send him photos. So Hagrid knows friends of Harry's parents. So Harry just could go to Hagrid and be like, hey, so can you tell me about my parents? Or get me in touch with someone who can talk about my parents?
Just ask your head of house, you know. They knew your parents.
Harry's an idiot.
Yes, he is. He's a brick.
But yeah, it's like the Dursleys... Why would the Dursleys know anything about his father? Why would they know anything about his mom? Yes, sure. Petunia would know about his mom being her sister, but...
Yeah, but why would Petunia know something about the husband of her sister when she was estranged from said sister?
And hated magic, yes.
Yes.
Back to more important questions. How does the parcel tongue thing work exactly? We are later made to believe that it is an ability gained by being one of all these Horcruxes, in Harry's case. But are all parcel mouths limited to the presence of a snake in using the ability? Or if it's only Harry, then why is only Harry limited like that? How does being a Horcrux limit that in that case? Does being a Horcrux make him not notice the difference between English and Parseltongue? And if so, why?
Those are indeed very important questions. Questions I do not have an answer to.
Or Harry is simply an idiot.
Yes.
If we were a proper Harry Potter podcast, we would spend an entire episode discussing that, trying to find answers.
But we are not.
We are not. Very important. Next. Snow! 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 Sorry, so the next morning, there's snow.
Yes, that is indeed very important. Snow is very, very important. And Harry goes to find Justin to explain what happened. So why didn't Harry go down, out of the castle to play in the snow? I don't know. Snow is nice. But he goes to find Justin. But he overhears a conversation between some other Hufflepuffs instead, and Ernie Macmillan says, only a really powerful dark wizard could have survived a curse like that.
Obviously. Okay. We meet Hagrid with a dead rooster. Foreshadowing. And finally, there is Justin. He found him. But he's petrified. He was petrified. I'm surprised at all. Like, there are all these coincidences preventing people from actually getting killed by the basilisk. Also, why isn't the basilisk actually attacking anyone, like, with its deadly fangs and massive snake body?
Because Tom ordered it not to.
Did he, though? Did he?
I mean, why else would there be so many coincidences?
Yeah, well, the coincidences are plot convenience. Like, there was a camera, there was some water. Well, Hermione specifically held a mirror. There was a ghost. Like, I don't think Tom accounted for that, but yeah, the basilisk went around staring at people. It never actually, like, bit anyone or just smacked them with its tail or anything. It could have done that and killed them instantly.
I mean, they probably all looked the basilisk in the eye before the basilisk could jump down on them, so they were petrified before that. And eating a petrified person, sinking your teeth into them, I don't know, would that be pleasant for the basilisk?
But, like, it has the death stare built in, so how else would it eat anything? What is it eating anyway?
Mice. Lots and lots of mice and rats and house elves and owls and cats and... No, not the cats, not the owls. Please, no.
So Hogwarts has a rat infestation. Good to know.
Yeah, I guess so. The basilisk has to eat something, and it needed to survive all those years without being, like, tended to, because it was alone. So
I think it was in hibernation, sleeping.
Still, even if you're in hibernation, you would wake up, like, I don't know, for basilisk, let's say every 100 years?
Magic 1,000-year-old snake.
Doesn't
it just be like that. It just be like that. Chapter 12. The Polyjuice Potion. We enter Headmaster Dumbledore's office. Ooh, I wanna steal stuff. Shiny. Let me steal everything. It's shiny. Trinkets everywhere. Okay, Dumbledore has a pet. Phoenix. Pet. Phoenix.
Yes, I want to pet the pet Phoenix.
Do phoenixes live on forever, even beyond the end of the world? Also, more foreshadowing in the form of phoenix abilities, but still, like, a phoenix as a pet.
Yes, casually having a phoenix as a pet, because why not? He is Headmaster Dumbledore.
Oh dear. Harry, tell him, Harry. If Dumbledore's a good and responsible headmaster, he will... Oh, never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
He's a good and responsible headmaster.
Yeah, what was I thinking?
What were you thinking?
Anyway, Christmas. I am surprised the Dursleys are sending Harry anything at all, but I suppose Hedwig pestered them into doing so. Good Hedwig.
Good Hedwig. Good
Meanwhile,
Hedwig.
Hermione really cannot wait to make use of the Polyjuice potion. I wonder what got into her. Can't be all about the Mudblood thing, can it? Or what am I saying it can? So Crabbe and Goyle I get, but Millicent suddenly deciding to return only to then never appear again for the rest of the holidays? That's rather suspicious. Good thing that didn't work out, but like, Hermione, you're the smart one of the group.
She should have known better. And they're also lucky that Crabbe and Goyle didn't get seriously hurt when they fell backwards on the floor from the sleeping draught chocolate cakes. They could have hit their head really hard, gotten a heavy concussion or something.
Would that have made a difference though?
Ooh, the burn.
I'm sorry, Crabbe Goyle, but she must not be named wrote you that way. I don't think it would have made a difference. No one would have noticed. No one would have noticed. Hey, you could just kill them and reanimate them and no one would notice.
But for that, you would need to be a necromancer.
Well, if I ever get stuck there, I will learn necromancy.
Yeah,
I don't want to be stuck there. Universe, please do not get me stuck there. I want to go elsewhere, please and thank you. So, I wonder whose laundry got stolen, but... okay, we know that the ropes are all the same in the book. And that identifying houses is probably only possible with, either you know, or students just wear stuff for house pride. Like, self-made badges, charms, scarves, something. Well, like I said, yeah. Maybe you just know who your classmates are. So they probably just do some laundry from older Gryffindors because it doesn't matter.
Maybe. But I was wondering about that because Harry can identify random groups of people and we know how inattentive Harry usually is, so...
But then he doesn't recognize Penelope, which Harry...
Yeah.
How are you doing... Yeah, so I'm assuming that most just wear house pride stuff.
Yeah, because, in a group of people... Maybe someone in that group wears something for house pride, and then Harry is just like, yeah, I guess they're all from that house, even though they might not be.
Yeah, because inter-house friendships don't exist.
Yeah. Anyways, their ropes rip as they transform. And why didn't they change clothes before taking the potion? Or at least undress? They were in separate cubicles, after all. No one would have seen, so no shame would have been involved. Now they have ruined ropes, and they don't have many to begin with. They only require 3 normal working ropes, after all. They have more clothes to wear under the ropes, but the ropes themselves are ruined now. Now they are down to 2 working ropes, so I need to get a new rope and make sure the other 2 are not dirty at the same time, or...
Well, everyone not from the Muggle world would just have standard robes because that's just what they wear, but Harry wouldn't.
No.
But yeah, children of Gryffindor, never thinking ahead, never thinking ahead.
Damn kids. And 1 glass is 60 minutes. Then how much did fake Moody brew in book 4? If you assume 16 hours transformed per day and 200 milliliters per hour, then we have 3.2 liters per day, which is roughly 100 liters per month. And that's a freaking lot.
Yeah. It is. We don't know how much Hermione brewed with the ingredients they stole, do we? A cauldron of undefined size. And we also don't know how much of the special ingredients Snape remarks on being stolen in book 4 are needed for a certain amount of potion, so question. Could be that you just need 1 small bit of special ingredient for, 10-liter cauldron or something, who knows?
Who knows?
Still a lot of potion, potion. But this is book 2 and not 4, and we'll probably forget all about it by the time we go into book 4. Next up. Hello! Hi, Penelope! Had fun snogging Percy in the dungeons? Oh, hi, Percy! Had fun snogging Penelope in the dungeons? Oh, thank Merlin Draco came to pick his 2 minions up. I wonder whether Hermione had a plan on how to find this other uncommon room. Also, couldn't she, who must not be named, have come up with a better password than Pureblood? No, well, I forgot. Evil, racist house. And in that same vein, the brief description of the Slytherin common room we get is not enough. I need more. Give me. Snobbish purebloods surely must live in an elegant, luxurious environment. Lots to see in that murky lake water. Lovely ambience. No sunlight to make us look like vampires. Come on, tell me. Give me the tea.
At least you got more than we got for the Hufflepuff common room.
Sucks to be you. Okay. Let me quote. The Daily Prophet. Weasley has brought the ministry into disrepute, Mr. Malfoy told our reporter. He is clearly unfit to draw up our laws, and his ridiculous Muggle Protection Act should be scrapped immediately. To which I say, I thought Lucius Malfoy would be more eloquent. If this is a direct quote, it's rather, well, inelegant. Or it is bad writing. It is bad writing.
It is bad writing. But that's why the Weasleys have the ghoul on the attic, to threaten reporters. Not because the magical equivalent for pest control would be too expensive. Or maybe the scared reporters are just a nice benefit?
Okay. Chapter 13. The Very Secret Diary. Madame Pomfrey must have seen the weirdest shit in her time at Hogwarts. She doesn't even question how Hermione got herself stuck as a Hofcat. So Myrtle is being dramatic as usual. Let's check it out. I guess Ron has overcome all trepidations about entering the girls' bathroom. Question. How does Myrtle fit in the U-Band? I mean, right, intangible ghost. And it must be at least big enough for a book to fall through, which just... I thought she meant the U-Band of a toilet. But why would the U-Band of a toilet be that big? And the book is described as small, but small is rather subjective, and it can't be that tiny, can it?
It's weird. It's just weird.
Ah, yeah. Harry's just, oh, nice book. Let me pocket it. And Ron is like, no, Harry, don't you know what it could do? Books are dangerous. And, I mean, like, haven't you learned anything? Ron is right, Harry. The book could be dangerous. Ron also mentions a book that you could never stop reading, which reminds me of a webtoon I'm reading. It's about crows. And in one chapter, one of those crows finds a person trapped by a book that you can never stop reading. And the crow promises to help in return for getting read a story. And the person just offhandedly says if the crow breaks that curse so that they'll marry it. The crow enlists the help of a cat. Cat sits on book, curse broken. The person then marries the crow as thanks. I'll put the link in the description below. You can, but it's like, look at this. It's awesome. Proof that cats are the best. Not even a cursed book can stop them.
Yes, cats are the best.
Also a lovely webtoon, by the way. Go and give it a read. I think it's also on Twitter. Yeah, link in the description below. So, how do you know it's a diary, Harry? There's nothing written in it. Is there something I'm missing in the meaning of the word diary? Also, hey Tom, hello, Special Services Award.
Special award for service to the school. Does getting Hagrid kicked out under false accusations count? Oh, guess it does.
Yes. Hagrid was a very convenient scapegoat to take the blame and all. Headmaster Tippett was so relieved to leave this nasty business behind, and there were no more attacks after we're there. Problem solved. Also, it was Tom Riddle who brought in the culprit. Most charming, most perfect student there ever was. So the book is sus.
Mhm.
Harry, don't just pocket it and forget about it. If someone threw away a seemingly empty book that's about 50 years old, then it's definitely not just some random book. One just told you about all the dangers such a book could pose. Don't just pocket it and forget about it, Harry.
No self-preservation instincts, that boy. Honestly.
Such a Gryffindor, that boy. Honestly. Also, Ron, how did you know Tom murdered Myrtle?
He is on the spot with that one. Wow. Credit where credit is due, I suppose.
Hit the nail on the head.
Mhm.
Is this the beginning of Ron the Seer? Oh, yeah, for those out of the loop, although I think most people know about it by now, except for Cecilia, who doesn't know about it. There's a fandom theory that Ron has seer abilities because he makes several unserious offhand comments over the course of the series that turn out to be true. Like this one. There are a lot of those. So fandom was like, is Ron a seer?
Maybe.
It's a very popular theory. So yes, Hermione, please connect the dots for your idiots. Very nice logic there. Tom did indeed win the award for catching the culprit that opened the chamber last time. Kind of.
The diary is 50 years old, and Tom got this award 50 years ago, and the chamber got opened 50 years ago. So maybe Tom did the murder and framed someone to get kicked out and got an award for that. Or maybe he got the award for killing Myrtle. One did say that would have been a favor, but for appearance's sake, they had to expel Hagrid, you know.
Also, the book is blank. So, Ron, if he really couldn't be bothered to fill it in, then the diary, journal, wouldn't still be around, would it? Nor would it be in such good condition after 50 years, so must be special.
Special book.
So the other Horcruxes all have sinister auras, don't they? The locket definitely does. The ring was cursed, although we don't know much more. Nagini is more like Harry. Diadem? Cup? I don't know, but I thought they had sinister auras. I couldn't be bothered to check. So why doesn't the journal? Other than influencing Harry to wanting to keep it. As though Riddle was a friend he'd had when he was very small.
It's the first Horcrux. It's special.
Ah, well. Next up, Madame Pomfrey was pleased to report that the mandrakes were becoming moody and secretive, meaning that they were fast leaving childhood. And then the book goes on to tell us they have acne and need to be repotted soon, and they'll be soon able to cut them up and stew them. Well, actually, I think there might be an error here because it makes more sense for Madame Sprout to report that rather than Pomfrey, but perhaps the matron is working close with their biology professor, so who knows? Anyhow, mandrakes are entering puberty. The level of sentience this suggests is all the more disturbing, as previously discussed.
Yes. Please, no. No. Get that away from me. No.
I like that too. I don't like the mandrakes, but Cecilia is suffering. Time for Valentine's Day. The chaos of which results in Harry's bag being ripped open, its contents spilled, and Riddle's journal falling into Draco's hands. Harry, you're acting as if that journal held your deepest and darkest secrets, when in fact there's nothing written in there. Compulsion got you bad, huh?
Yeah, it got him bad. Also, the ink bottle that got smashed contained scarlet ink. Can you imagine writing all your notes in scarlet? I couldn't. It would feel like my notes are screaming at me because everything is wrong. Just write in black or dark blue. Much better.
Black. Blue for special things. And red screams teachers' corrections.
Yes, exactly.
So Draco is not thrown back by the Expelliarmus charm. Because Harry didn't cast it like Snape? Because Draco isn't a fool like Horcrux? Because the spell just is supposed to work like that? Or is it? And Harry says he'd got one over Malfoy. Did I miss something? Like, okay, Harry took the empty book back, confirming that it must hold very embarrassing diary entries from him. Indeed. But where is Harry's win in this? That he caused the disarming chunk successfully? I don't understand.
Children's logic.
Also shows how unobservant Harry is that he didn't realize it was Ginny's Valentine, but Draco did. Right. So, maybe don't write your name into a magical object you know nothing about, Harry? No?
No.
If I wrote in it, would Tom even be able to decipher my handwriting?
No.
Is there some spell for that, or would the Horcrux be there trying to figure out what that gibberish means?
Yes.
What if I wrote in a different language on top of my horrible handwriting? How about a language that doesn't even use Latin letters? He'd probably not bother in that case or try to get a conversation in English going, I think.
Yeah.
So imagine, you find an old book. Forget that it's kind of sus, because Harry definitely forgets that it's kind of sus.
Mm-hmm.
And also old, and use it as a notebook. I probably wouldn't even notice my notes disappearing initially. Both because I wouldn't think to check the older ones until I remember them, and because I would forget I made them in the first place. Which gives Tom plenty of time and material to try and figure out my handwriting, if nothing else. My notes would be all over the place, probably complete nonsense to Tom, so now, I wonder if he would give me my notes back if I asked. Pretty please?
Pretty please.
Let me look up some examples of what I would write.
Mm-hmm.
So, bits out of context ideas regarding current writing projects. Sometimes entire scenes, recipe ideas, cooking, generally a cooking list, lyrics to a song stuck in my head, Chinese name studies, stuff to remember later, random ideas for my new writing projects, stuff to do at one point. This one just says done-made titties, and I'm not going to explain what that means. Flavor comparisons, more writing bits. Oh, the bills from our last trip that I still need to write into our household book. The cooking list for this week, some notes for one of our next podcast episodes, our grocery shopping list, etc. It's mostly out of context writing notes and stuff I need to remember later. What would Tom do with that?
How fast does the writing disappear? And I have no clue what he would do with that.
I think it disappears immediately after Harry is finished writing. But you know me, I would write it down and then close it and not notice.
But ink needs to dry first.
So? Come on, even if I left it to dry, I would not notice. You know how I am, it's just...
Probably not. So
I would just write it down, leave it out there, because no one can read my handwriting anyway, so who would steal my notes, and I just leave, and then I go back and yeah, it's open on an empty page, so I can just write in there again.
So
yeah.
Tom would probably try to do a character study and end up very confused because he would be like, what the bloody hell is Dunmay supposed to be?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's got nothing better to do, does he? So it's let's first figure out this damn handwriting. Oh, does he save the notes?
I don't know.
Once they is that maybe my notes would actually stay there until he can decipher them. So he will only vanish them once he can read the shit.
If you read, acknowledged, committed to memory. Now let's delete it from the journal.
Well, who knows? But now I want to get my hands on that Horcrux just to test it out. I mean, Tom can't extract any life essence, force, energy thingy from me because I'm already dead. So
yeah, so just make sure to keep it away from me.
Yeah. No, actually.
No.
Moving on with the plot. What did the attacks look like back in Tom's days? Petrification seems like too much of a coincidence. It already is too much of a coincidence, so have it happened back then as well? Just no. Yeah.
Maybe the basilisk used its teeth back then.
But then there would also... Yeah, but then everyone would be dead. There was only one death. It was murder. Even she died by death stare.
Oh, who knows?
Either way, I think in the entire paragraph Tom writes to Harry, there's only one lie. That the one he caught opened the chamber. Everything else seems to check out. Also, Harry, no, Harry, don't trust the Sus journal. Harry.
Harry does.
So does this work the same way the pensive works?
Harry, if the wizard is... that word again. I wasn't want to say deaf, but it's deaf. Harry, if the wizard is deaf, half shouting won't help. If he is hard of hearing, then yes. If he is deaf, no. A common mistake is to raise your voice when speaking to a deaf person, thinking they will understand us better if we do. They often read your lips to understand what you are saying. Half shouting and raising your voice alters the mouth movement, which in turn has the effect that they won't understand you better, but worse. The best course of action is to talk at a normal volume, just a bit slower. So Neitshayd would have to concentrate really hard.
No, that's impossible. It's impossible. Can't do that. Like for a few sentences, perhaps. But I can't talk slowly for an extended period of time. I can't.
So just put everything in writing, which is legible.
Also impossible. Unless you give me like an electronic device to write on.
Luckily, in our modern day and age, we most of the time have an electronic device with us.
True. Okay. We get a conversation between Tom and Headmaster Dippet, which... bad writing for an exposition dump. Because the entire conversation is super unrealistic considering Tom is in his 5th year and has undoubtedly asked to stay during the summer before that. As the perfect student, I'd assume Tom has also talked with Dippet before on more than one occasion, so they should be familiar with each other, which they aren't. And the bit about the naming of his parents' stuff seems especially forced, and also, if what Dippet says true about a special arrangement that could have been made were it not for the attacks, then why only now? Why is Tom not asked before? Why was the arrangement not made before?
Maybe something related to age?
Yeah, but like, if he did ask it before, why has it not been possible? It's just... it's bad writing for an exposition dump, and it isn't actually necessary, because Dumbledore will tell us all about this again in book 6. So, it's bad writing. Also, why are Tom and Hagrid on a first-name basis?
No clue. No clue. They really shouldn't be.
They really shouldn't be. They really shouldn't be. Okay, that's enough Harry Potter for the day. I can't do more than this.
Okay.
Alright, you can find us on Twitter, Spotify, and YouTube, obviously, all under Tea and Toffees.
And if you enjoyed this episode, leave us a comment. Would you write in the journal if you had found it? What would you write? And also, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please and thank you.
We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.